Let's talk about this opportunist thing, because that's a real thing, especially when you work with celebrities. And we're going to get into more of like who you've worked with and why you may even feel this way. But opportunists, like, how do you spot them?
It's an instinctual gut feeling. I don't know what it
Okay.
is, but I feel like I'm a good read of character. And for me, if you're trying to be my friend really quickly, or you like are like bestie, hey girl, let's do this. Hey, like that's not my vibe. That's not my jam. I'm like I keep a very tight circle of friends that are actually my friends, and then there's like associates and people that I know and acquaintances and things of that nature. So if you're really trying to be in my orbit, super super tough, or you're trying to claim that we're closer than we are, there was a girl that was like, "Yeah, we're friends," and I was like, "I've never hung out with this person ever." Like a professional working environment, so I don't know why she would ever tell you we're friends. And so for me, that's kind of like my gut test of like, how are you identifying me in your life? Like, are you like, that's my girl, or like, I'm very particular about using the word like business colleague, or like acquaintance, or associate, or a friend of a friend, or my cousin's childhood this, or whatever it is. I've really been a lot more intentional, especially being Habesha, because we were raised and everyone's your cousin. I'm like, you're really not my cousin. You're actually not my cousin. And later on, I saw the effects of like my parents telling me everybody was my cousin, and then they'd be like, you guys should date. And I'm like, but my whole entire life you told me we were cousins. So
No.
how are you then going to tell us to date? So for me, I've taken that lesson, so to speak, and I've applied it into my everyday life professionally of just how I connect with people and just kind of feeling folks out.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're talking about when you say you trust your gut. And I think that that's like, I don't know if that's more developed in somebody who owns a business, but I feel strongly about that. Especially if you're successful in business, the thought of being like, okay, whatever I'm thinking is right. And I don't necessarily need a cosign. I don't need to go to my friends to be like, well, what do you think about da 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 da? Like,
I mean,
no.
sometimes I do be like, so tell me about your friend, or are you cool with so and so? Like, and generally, if I'm asking the tone I'm asking, people are going to be like, why are you asking? And that's enough for me. You know, it's like, what's the inkling? And I also pay attention to people and how they move. Like, are you switching up your crew? Are you like
Yeah.
friend hopping? Like, are you like in with this group and then the next time you're in with another group? Those types of things are a red flag for me. But I have got it wrong, and I have
Hmm.
gone against my intuition, and I've gotten burned. But it's a part of the process, it's a part of the experience, and it's part of evolving and growing as an individual. Then I
Yeah.
get one or two.
Yeah, that's true. But it sounds like you trust your gut, and then like you get the cosign from the
Mhm.
friend to be like,
Definitely trust my gut.
yeah, is what I'm thinking what you're thinking?
Mhm.
Or yeah, and I do that too. And the older I get, the less conversations I need to have. Like when I was really young, it was like, let me talk to like five friends.
Mhm.
Now it's like, I'm gonna talk to the person who I know may know this person the closest, if I talk to anybody at all. Uh and it's because I'm trying to see the best in the situation. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's fine to move on. Yeah, exactly. But it's also okay. Um, okay, so we know each other from wine tasting, and then we kind of kept in touch. And at that time, were you working with Sasha and Malia Obama?
I was.
Okay, cool. Okay, because at that time, I feel like you were really, really low key about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I really don't, I don't really talk about that part of my career, particularly because I feel like we were still in office at the time, and they were young, they were under 18, and so it was nobody's business. And again, it was that intuition thing of like, are you trying to be my friend because you're trying to be closer to the Obamas, or like proximity or whatever it was, because a lot of people did that in DC, or are you like, you're actually a cool person and I actually want to
Hmm.
vibe with you, and I want to support you, I want to help you, and I want to see you flourish. And specifically because I was a service provider, it was one of those things where it's just like, well, are you going to try to schedule a service with me? Are you going to refer your friends to me? Or are you strictly just going to be like, oh, yeah, that's my homegirl? And I'm like, but we're not really cool like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure, for sure. And you know what's interesting is like when I met you, I was like, this girl is really smart. I remember that was one of the first things I thought about you. I was like, wow, like she's really put together. And I think one of the reasons why you and I vibed is that we are in the entertainment industry. We work with celebrities, but we don't necessarily get in our head that, oh, this isn't a business. We're very aware of the
100%.
business side, you know, of yeah, that's a
Yeah, you've
big
always been
deal.
that person that, like, again, that gut check, checking in with people. It's like, when I want to work with somebody or if I need a referral of how to do something in this industry,
Mhm.
you're the person that I'm like, let me do a gut check with Delina. Like, let me see, like, hey, Delina, I saw you working with so and so. Like, what is the deal? Like, can they be beneficial? Or it's just like, hey, I'm about to do this. Like, what are your thoughts? Because I know you're about your business too. And I think in this industry, and this isn't to like knock anybody in the industry, but I think as creatives, so many of us forget that it's actually a profession and we have to be professional. There's the business side of it. Not all of us have the business acumen because we're creatives, and that part of it becomes a little more challenging.
Mm.
So for me, it was really important to also connect and vibe with folks that are going to help me elevate. And although you're a makeup artist and I'm a hairstylist, we still do the same thing. We provide a service and we have to make people feel good. And more than anything, from my personal view, I think that there's a lot of hairstylists and artists who believe that they are the celebrity and they aren't providing the service to the celebrity. And it's just
Yes.
that was just like, I was like, oh, you get it. Like, you're not the celebrity. Like, you have influence, obviously.
Mhm.
Like, you're talented and you're around these amazing, phenomenal individuals, but you are there to provide them a service, not to be the star or the center of attention or the focal point. And that doesn't mean don't get your coins. It doesn't mean don't handle your business. That doesn't mean like belittle yourself or undercut yourself when it comes to the financial compensation. But at the same time, you're not the celebrity, so you can't expect to be getting what they're getting.